we've got stories to tell, how the human race should be erased from space. We're horrible people and deserve to die. If you don't believe me, then I'll tell you why. We've caused genocides and mass extinction, humans causing bad pollution. Amazon is burning down, California's on shaky ground. Ted Cruz in Cancun, people deny the moon. Gun crime is on the rise, hypocrisy and evil lies. Leadership is on vacation, God is doing tax evasion. Police increasing jurisdiction, overdue for extinction.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, you beautiful dummies out there. I think that should about cover all the times that you will be listening to us chatter, unless you find yourself in some kind of limbo or void or hell, in which case you could probably not listen to us regardless, and it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, good luck with your in-between worlds imprisonment, but in any case, I am your benevolent master. Some call me Emmanuel, Yahweh, Elohim, Shaddai. But that's just Subway Jack. He's not all there anyway, and he won't stop bowing to me when I pass by. The rest of you, though, can just call me Anthony.
And I am your dashing as ever, Justin. No fancy intro needed. Subway Jack lost his mind, and so did I.
Subway Jack pisses on children for fun, and I can't say it doesn't look like fun.
Well, I mean, if you jack off and then piss on your puddle of cum, are you still pissing on children? Because it sounds like a fun time.
I hope the children, like the actual breathing children, aren't around while you're jerking off and pissing on cum. We're 2 sentences in, and this has already become a problematic episode.
That's what happens when I riff.
Oh my god! I don't know. This is gonna be disastrous. I guess we'll get a sorry Karen out of the way early. In any case, so this week is a little bit different as we have some catching up to do. For those of you who might be unaware, we have welcome dummies to send in their birthdays to us. What we had started, me and Russ, when we were doing the previous rendition of this show, was we wanted you to tell us what your birthday was. Also your social security and the last 4 digits of your debit card if you so desired. But the birthday was so that we could do a feature story, a Florida man story about you, something that happened on your birthday. And it was just kind of a fun little way to get people interacting with us, and so we'd like to make sure that we bring that back. So anyone who has not listened to the podcast before, you can send those in any of our socials that we will list at the end of the episode, as well as they will be in our episode notes that you can look at in your platform of choice. But in any case, you give us your birthday, we find a funny Florida man story for you that happened on your birthday, and then we will kind of riff on it like we do with any other Neanderthal story. However, during the downtime in which Russ and I stopped recording, and between when Justin and I started recording for this new version of the show, we missed a lot of you. I think there's like 4 or 5 stories in total to do. So we wanted to make sure we made good on our promise, because we don't fall back on promises here on Overdue for Extinction. In fact, like the Lannisters, we always pay our debts. However, unlike the Lannisters, we don't believe in fucking your sibling. I don't know if that is lost on you or if you were a Game of Thrones fan.
Oh,
Justin.
no, I am a Game of Thrones. I mean, I think it's okay if we fuck each other's siblings, but that's odd because you have a brother. Sorry, Corey, I'm not into you. But you might be into my sister. I don't know.
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't know you had a sister. We must not be as good friends as I thought we were.
Oh, you even were over at my house. She would have been there. She's the almighty porn exposer.
Oh, that's right. She did expose that. I guess we could get into that real quick, too. So Justin and I were friends via church camp, and I don't think it was a very long-term friendship. It probably maybe a year or so.
Yeah, something
and
like that.
and we hang out a couple of times, and then one point during our teenage years, I stayed the night at his house, and I ruined our friendship with porn. Not like I looked up the weirdest shit that you can't even speak of, but like I think I was looking for what's her name, the mom from Zack and Cody, Kim Rhodes. Apparently I had a real big thing for her when we were teenagers, and so I was Googling Kim Rhodes naked pictures. Unfortunately, nothing came up, but your sister apparently had found it and exposed it to your parents, and you took the brunt of the fallout for that. Sorry about that, good buddy.
Yeah, growing up in an extremely religious home, like porn is one of those words that is whispered in the odd corners in the middle of the night that no one can hear you. And there was a giant family meeting where they're like, God is watching you. What is this smut you've brought into our house? And I'm like, it wasn't me, I swear. Bullshit. Who else would be on this computer? And now I'm just like, I got this phone I carry in my pocket. I'm like, good thing they have a private browser, because like every time I hand my phone over to somebody, I'm like, did I close out of that? Well, I guess they'll find out.
Right, you're gonna find out from the reaction on their faces. So you rightfully defended yourself and threw me under the bus for it was in fact my fault that it was on the computer, and your parents forbade us from hanging out anymore, and then out of spite you threw away my GameCube games.
I still own them, and that's how petty I am. Would you like them back?
No. I think I'm well beyond GameCube games at this point. I can't keep up with the current games, so I'm not going back anytime soon.
Okay.
But yeah, so we had a nice falling out. Oddly enough, we never talked about it until right before we decided to start doing this podcast together, and then we started talking about what we wanted it to be and all that, and then I was like, so, hey, you remember when we stopped being friends? And you're like, oh, I've been waiting for this conversation for so many years.
Obviously I was like pissed off about it when it happened because I got in trouble for it. But like now, in retrospect, I'm like, that is some funny ass shit right there. Like, and also only in my fucking house would that happen. So
I think I had mentioned it before to someone else too. I was like, yeah, I used to be friends with someone until I watched porn, or looked up porn on their computer, and then their family came down on them with God's mighty wrath. And I was like, yeah, that was the last time I really talked to that guy. But we were like friends on Facebook, so like there was obviously no weirdness or ill will. It was just like, right. Yeah, we're Facebook friends. That doesn't mean fuck all, but we're Facebook friends.
Right. Oh well,
we talk down here daily.
Right. I was gonna say, I feel like the base was set back then, and we've picked up where we left off. So, but yeah. Anyway, you don't care about our porn search histories. I'm sure that's not why you came here. I mean,
they might be. In which case, we could probably make a list. We could make some video suggestions for content.
We could. I mean, that's gonna be a broad and weird list if it's coming from me. I mean.
That's gonna be bonus content on the Patreon that we create, where you can get a curated list of all of our porn that we're into.
You're welcome.
What got us started on this conversation was when you said that you wouldn't fuck my brother, and then my mind went to porn immediately because I thought, you know what's weird? The videos where they're like, we can't fuck our own dads, but we can fuck each other's dads. And then they're literally fucking each other's daughters in the same room, like staring at their daughters. Obviously, they're not really related, but when I've seen videos like that, I'm just like, you're literally staring at your daughter's tits. Like you're not, your dick's not inside of her, but yeah, you're staring at her tits. Like this isn't normal.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But anyway, back to people's birthdays because that's what we started off.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to all of the dummies who we have left behind.
And we have tainted your episode already.
Yeah, we're already 2 sentences in and went haywire. Now we're talking about Lannisters and fucking siblings, and this is. Since we're getting rolling here, we'll make sure we dive into the meat a little bit faster than we did in episode 1 because we got a chance to listen to some of episode 1 after our great and powerful ramen devourer got to edit it and release it to us. We talked a lot in the beginning of that episode. So we'll try to get to the meat of it a little bit quicker here. Was there anything of note that happened in your week? Anything weird, fun, dumb that you've done? I've got kind of something, so I figured I'd open it up to you to reveal if you've done anything dumb too.
This week has been pretty flatline, boring, to be honest, other than the usual work drama, which I can't openly discuss, unfortunately. But I mean, I do have a coworker who continues to try to touch my taint daily. He came up behind me.
This feels like something for HR, not for the listeners.
He came up behind me today and like gave me this hug and like light kiss. And he's like, "What? You gonna file a sexual harassment complaint?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. But could you please stop? That'd be great." Like, it doesn't like bother me. Like, it should bother me, but it doesn't. It's just like more the fact that you're in my personal bubble than like what you're actually doing. Because I'm like, I don't know. I whatever. But I like that's the dumbest thing that's happened, and it's not really that dumb. It's just more like this week's episode of sexual harassment at work.
It's not only is he sexually harassing you, and not just like hey baby, I'd like to dip my balls deep into you. It's more like he's like literally touching your taint, and then he's also gaslighting you. He stepped it up a bit. He's touching your taint, giving you a kiss. It's like, what are you gonna do? File a sexual harassment complaint? Like, now you can't because he challenged you to it. He's gaslighting you now.
I guess I feel like I've been like so trained to not stand up for myself in situations, and I'm like, no, it's cool. He's only balls deep in my asshole. It could be worse, guys.
You're like, he might be fingering my butthole, but at least he's not licking it or something.
He told me if he finishes, it's fine. He doesn't have AIDS.
He doesn't have AIDS. Oh, man.
So what's your dumb for the week?
Well, I don't know if I have anything close to topping that. I mean, no one's touching my taint, especially Kristen, and that makes me a little bit saddened, so I guess. Oh, my God. Well, it's been comparatively very tame on my end. I don't have anything to compete with that. I think the weirdest thing's happened to me, because I work so much now that I don't really have time to do anything dumb. So I guess it's kind of beneficial to keep me off the streets so I don't do weird shit. The weirdest thing happened to me was a waitress came back. As I said, my second job is making pizzas. One of the waitresses came back after she rang one in, and it was just a small pepperoni sausage pizza, nothing special. And she came back and she's like, "Anthony," I said, "What?" She's like, "I need you to make that pizza very special." I was like, "What's going on? What's up with this pizza?" And she's like, "I just need you to make that the best pizza that you can make it." And I'm thinking, like, I just grabbed the pizza dough from the cooler. It's already got sauce on it. Like, all I got to do is throw the pepperoni and sausage on it. What more could I really do to this pizza? Like, I could jerk off into it if that's going to make it any more special, but I don't know that's what she wants. So I just look at her in the eyes and, like, I'm very involved now. She's got my attention. I said, what's going on with this pizza? Who's it for? And I thought she was going to be like, "Oh, the governor of Ohio fucking came in and is sitting down at a restaurant. I need you to make this the best goddamn..." No, she's like, I have to take this to somebody, and I need you to make it as good as it can be. And I said, there's very little I can do about that. I can guarantee you I will make it good. I'll make the sausages particularly large for you or something. But I said, there's not a whole lot I can do to make the taste any better than it already is. And she apparently felt like she wasn't getting through to me, so she's a pretty well endowed woman. She grabs her chest and she says, "I need you to make it tits perfect." I said, "What does that even mean? What does tits perfect mean? What am I supposed to do to this pizza?" And she goes, "Just make it tits perfect." And I said, "Okay, I got you." So I made the pizza. I made some big sausages, some big pepperoni. I mean, pepperoni's pretty uniform in size. You can't do a whole lot about that. But I spaced them real nice. I made it real pretty. I threw in some extra cheese. I put it in the oven, and then I was relieved to go to break. And she came in through the break room area, and she said, "Did you make that pizza for me?" And I said, "Yeah, I made it." "Why?" I said, What's it for? What's so special about it?" She said, My uncle is in bad condition in the ICU at the hospital, and I'm taking it to him to eat after I get off of work. And if it's the last thing he eats before he dies, I want it to be a damn good pizza. I was like, you can't put that kind of pressure on me. What, you want me to make this man's last meal to be pizza is decent in quality, but by no means the best pizza I've ever had in my life.
Also, I want to mention that she was like thinking about her dying uncle and then groping herself at the same time.
She sure did. It seems pretty common for her to grope her boobs and to make essentially sexual harassment remarks at people, but nobody seems to care nearly as much as getting your taint violated by a coworker who's not the opposite sex.
So at a job I had before, it was a restaurant job, we had this... well, now, like, this was like 10 years ago. She would have been like 35, so the age I am now. And she was going through divorce, and she was super lonely. And she'd always trap the guys back in like this dead end hallway with the freezers. And she'd always like excuse herself as she'd like press her boobs or her ass against you. And then like she'd just like stop and just like give a little shimmy. And like everybody was just like, oh, poor. I'm not going to name names. She's going through a rough time. If this is how she needs to feel good about herself, we'll let it slide. And then on her like last shift, she come running around giving everybody like these way too involved hugs. So I hid in the bathroom. And after she left, the boss owner of the restaurant was like, "Hey JT, like why where were you at? She was looking for you." And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, and we, like, the whole thing came out, and he's like, she's been sexually harassing you guys for the last year, and you didn't say anything? We're like, yeah, but her dude left her. She was sad.
It's okay if you molest people if you're sad. Oh my god.
Like, she was like, kissing, like, hugging and kissing the girls, and, like, not on lips, it's just, like, pecks on the cheek, and then, like, rubbing herself against the guys, and we're just like, oh, it's a phase, it'll pass.
It's never the girls that you want to do all that, too. It's not like, oh, Bethany is so fucking hot. Oh, she's gonna rub her tits on me? Okay, this is the greatest day of work ever. Like, I get paid shit wage, but this makes it the most ultimate way to enjoy my work day. And we have another girl at the other job that I work, who she apparently has, I think she's got a tattoo of her wiener dogs on her or something, and so she'll like lower her shirt like far enough that you can see cleavage, but I'm pretty sure she's like not super perky, so she's got to lower it quite a bit away, and then she'll go around to the different guys at work and be like, "You want to see my wiener?" And it's just like, I wish you would burn in a bonfire. I could probably jerk off to that better than I could seeing any part of you naked. It's like, please don't talk to me ever again.
So, this entire last 10 minutes, all I can think about is The Office Season 2, Episode 2, Sexual Harassment. I'm not sure if you're an Office fan or not. But it's an entire... Like, they sit down for a special meeting on sexual harassment, and I feel like that's what needs to happen here. Or at least with our coworkers, at least.
Okay, I was going to say, now, do we need to get HR involved in our individual workplaces, or do we need HR involved in the podcast? Because at this point, I don't know if Karen or Kristen is the HR.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they should be involved.
Karen is a bad name because of the association of being a Karen. So I think by default of her own name, she has to be the HR woman too.
For sure. And also, like, we're always like saying, sorry, Karen, but we should probably be saying, sorry, listener.
Yeah, we've never apologized once to the listener for any of that.
No,
We've always apologized to Karen.
We pay her. You guys are here because
apparently they like punishment. That makes them all very kinky.
So,
I was going to say, but we did come here to talk about how we're being sexually harassed or put on death row feeding list. We're here to talk about birthday people, the people that we've missed during our downtime. So I think we should probably get into the meat of it and give the people what they came for.
For sure, let's go.
All right, so we're gonna kick things off with well, basically the only segment we have this time because we have like 5 of you bastards that had birthdays, and I'm just saying your parents should have probably fucked at a more convenient time for our own podcast. I know it's a bit of an ask, but I feel like I'm worth it.
Yeah, I mean, must have been a great time to get Randy. Whatever 9 months ago was, September-ish. I feel like September's a good time to get Randy.
Well, our first birthday was February 11th, so 9 months prior to that would have been
August.
August. I don't know what's special about August. In fact, it starts to get real hot in August.
The last thing you want to do is,
I was gonna say, the last thing you want to be doing is rubbing bodies together. But I guess we'll stop kink shaming her parents and just we'll get to it. So let's go ahead and dive into our newsworthy Neanderthals.
Breaking news. This just in.
everyone, big dumb.
All right. So first off the bat here, we've got our dummy Tiffany. I actually met Tiffany weirdly. I think these are all going to be my people because you haven't brought your people on board yet, but it's okay. We'll get your people involved. Just not Tank Guy. I don't want him like poking my taint virtually or anything.
Well, Tank Guy was the first drunk story, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
he's already involved.
He's already involved. He's already taint deep. But Tiffany, I actually met through complete random happenstance. I was invited to be a groomsman. I almost said groomsmaid. A groomsman of somebody's wedding who I've never met in my entire life. Actually, one of our other dummies who we're doing a birthday story for in this episode, he was the one who was the connection between us, and he just messaged me one day, and he was like, so I got a buddy who's getting married, but one of his groomsmen dropped out because he had something else he had to do that day. Do you want to be the groomsman for this dude that you've never met before in your life? And Tiffany ended up being my partnered bridesmaid, so we met that way. She's pretty cool. We played a lot of Dead by Daylight together. She likes to scream playing Dead by Daylight. I don't know if you're familiar with that game or not.
I am not, unfortunately.
It is essentially 4 survivor players versus 1 killer whose goal is to kill everyone before they can activate enough generators to get through the escape door. But in any case, so Tiffany's birthday is February 11th, and I guess we should probably open the fucking article. I didn't do anything to be prepared like I said it was.
Right here. I got it right up, buddy.
I got it right up too. We got it up together. That's how we do here. So I'm so sorry to everybody. That one was unwarranted. So on February 11th, Tiffany, your Florida man was arrested after reportedly spraying people with a fire extinguisher at a Walmart in Dunellen on Tuesday morning, police said. So the story goes on to say that 33-year-old Greg David Atkinson was arrested and charged with battery and petty theft, criminal mischief, and resisting arrest and interfering with firefighter equipment after an incident that occurred on February 11th. According to the police report, Atkinson went to the Walmart on Northeast 12th Avenue. So there you go. You can go visit it if you're ever in Florida. He grabbed the fire extinguisher near the garden section. Police said he started breaking windows, doors, and anti-theft devices that totaled in more than $10,000 in damages. Now, I'm no expert on shopping for windows and doors for a store. I feel like $10,000 is a lot of damage for the little bit of time he was able to get away with it.
Yeah, but were they, like, if they're, like, special security doors or, like, is it special glass or... I feel like the security mechanism is probably what caused the most damage right there. But then again, why? Why are we...
Well, it doesn't say what his reasoning was, but what it does say is that he sprayed 2 people with the fire extinguisher and then grabbed 2 packs of cigarettes before leaving the store. He was ordered to stop and then tried to run away. He is currently, well, at the time of this writing anyway, was booked in the Alachua County Jail with no bond. So when I read this, my first initial thought was, I don't think he was completely wrong. I'm not saying he was right by any means. But I have spent a lot of time in Walmart, and I did like 8 months as a cashier. So I get being at Walmart and wanting to bludgeon people around me. So like, it's relatable. Do you enjoy your Walmart trips at all?
I stay out of Walmart or most like big stores as much as possible, because I just dislike human interaction.
Yeah, I also dislike human interaction, which is probably not going to be good if we ever intend to take this thing like to live shows and stuff. So we should
like,
probably get over that.
I feel like there's like this group of people who are like my people, and I like, not that I like don't feel safe at Walmart. I'm just irritated with everybody. Like, I feel like I hate humans in general unless I feel like you're one of my people. Then I'm like way too open and bubbly with you, and you're probably relatively annoying. But no, people at Walmart definitely deserve to be bashed with a fire extinguisher. I feel like this was like a hey, hold my beer type moment.
It might very well have been. It may have also been someone told him he wasn't going to get cigarettes, because it was interesting that he stole 2 packs of cigarettes, and I'll touch on that for a second. But it feels like something like he didn't have a license, or it was expired or something, and so he went to go get it, and the cashier told him, "Oh, I can't legally give it to you without you having a valid license to prove your age." And I think we have a picture of him. No, not this one. We don't have a picture, right?
Not that I'm seeing.
No, I scrolled back up. There's a big blank space where it looks like a picture could have been, but they didn't include one. That, and I didn't bash on his appearance like I have for other people. But it doesn't say like what caused it. I feel like he was rejected in some way, and so he decided to take on the whole, "You're not going to tell me what the reality of it is," and then just went berserk. So with people that I work with, I feel like they could use a good, bad, no talkie, because they like to talk a lot, and I like to not be bothered when I'm working. And there are plenty of fire extinguishers around at the plant that I work at. So honestly, the opportunity has always kind of been present, but I've never given in on the impulses.
I feel like that's one of those like instances where you need to carry like a fly swatter or like a paint stick around and just like smack people like boop right on the nose. Like,
I feel like there should be some kind of device that I can purchase or invest in, maybe Kickstart or something. Whereas like if anybody gets within, I don't know, let's say 5 feet of you, they get like a little electrical current, not enough to hurt, but it starts as like a weird feeling that you get when you're getting near someone. They can feel like a slight tingle or something, and then the closer you get, the more it feels like a shock, like static electricity. And if they dare bother you with the audacity to get close enough to you that they're right up on you, I feel like it should be the equivalent of pissing on an electric fence.
for sure.
I don't know if you've ever done that, but it makes your dick feel like it's going to explode.
No, but if you like make a daisy chain of people and then like, the last person either pisses or takes their shoe off, it's the same thing. So we used to trick people into being the last person of daisy chain, and I've watched like 300-pound boys fly through the air.
Jesus Christ. I feel like you've lived an entire life that we could stop doing this podcast and talk about stories.
This was weird. It's like, I'm like, yeah, this is just normal life for me. And you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck happened?
Like, we all used to hold hands and each other's dicks with the other hand and then take turns pissing on the electric fence.
You added that part in.
I feel like it's canon now, regardless of what you actually said.
Here we are, dicks in hands, but not our own.
Right, we're back to the
and the weird thing is, the guy in the end took his shoe off.
Oh man! As you pointed out, though, they did mention that this man took 2 packs of cigarettes before leaving the store. It seems like kind of a targeted number. Like, you cause that much damage and havoc, and you just grab 2 packs. Like, why wouldn't you grab the whole carton at that point? You've already fucked everything up. You're pretty sure you're gonna get arrested. You might as well take as much as you can carry out.
I mean, like on a real note or a sad note, like this person could be mentally ill or like they don't have a place to stay, so they'd rather spend the night in jail or a few days in jail than out on the streets. So they're like, why not fucking bash a window in and get a few smokes out of it?
I almost feel bad mocking some of these stories because some of them do cross over the line of dumb into clear mental illness. But at the same time, it's just like, this is a very dumb thing that happened. Like, we should talk about it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
There's one guy, I think he might be the fourth story, that I was reading, and then I started like bashing on him by appearance. I made some jokes at his expense, and I'm like, I feel like after reading this story, this dude definitely has mental illness. he's 40 and still living with his mom, and I won't give any more detail about that story. Wait till we get to it, but it screams not everything is in its proper place. Oh man, but yeah, this is a weird situation. Like, probably not weird as far as Walmart standards are concerned. There's a reason that People of Walmart is a website. I feel like something about this seems like the weirdest anti-tobacco commercial ever. Like, they should have displayed this on their what's the Truth. That's the one that does the anti-smokers. Yeah, they should have shown this footage from the Walmart camera, and then at the end they just put up the Truth logo and be like, you could ruin your life over a pack of cigarettes.
Which is funny because Truth is also like sponsored or put on by Big Tobacco, so they're kind of like sending mixed messages out there, but whatever.
Jesus Christ. They're like, don't smoke our product. Definitely kill yourself.
Right. So, well, anyway, Tiffany, happy birthday. Thank you for listening. I hope we did you proud.
Yeah, I don't know how proud you could be, but you could tell people you were on a podcast and then insist that they don't ever listen to the podcast because of the other things that were mentioned in it. As I did, I think maybe mention, maybe it was in the last episode, my supervisor at my primary job heard that I was doing a podcast, and he was like, so what exactly is that? And I said, it's kind of like a radio talk show, but more of a targeted goal in mind. And I said, my friend and I, particularly, what we're doing is making fun of dumb people, dumb things, Amazon reviews. And I was like, I realized I was explaining it badly, but like, he was interested enough that he was like, well, how do I listen to it? And I was like, oh, you don't. You don't.
Luckily, my coworkers, there's only 4 of us in my department. So it's really hard to, like, if you're in the shop, it's really hard to say anything without everybody hearing it. But luckily, my other 2 coworkers that are my supervisor, they're really good about not mentioning the podcast around him, because like they know what kind of content's on here, and they know he probably shouldn't be listening.
They're like, we're gonna keep your job safe, don't worry about it. Oh man, so you have anything else to add about Tiffany's story before we move on to the next one?
I do not.
All right. Our next birthday individual is Tiki. I don't actually know Tiki personally. I don't know how they came to be in our Discord group. I just know they showed up one day when everyone else was kind of influxing, and then they threw their birthday at us, and I said, cool, I'll make a note of it and we'll cover it. And then obviously we're down for it. So happy birthday, Tiki. I hope you enjoy this particular story and the awful things I have to say about this gentleman.
Let's get into it.
All right. I should open this one too because, you know. All right, so Tiki, your story's headline is, I'm not going to lie, it's cocaine. Florida man tries to eat stolen debit card, deputies say. Did you get a chance to read this one ahead of time, Justin?
I did.
Okay, so based off of the headline alone and the man's picture there, did anything start immediately coming to mind?
Like, okay, I understand, like, he says he's got cocaine or he's got cocaine on him, but just the title alone, he tries to eat a debit card. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, how? I want to know the process, like, in your mind. Like, how are you getting this bitch, like, down your throat? Are you, like, cracking it up in, like, pieces? Is it, like... And how are you breaking? Because if you fucking try to break a debit card or a credit card, it's, like, fucking impossible.
That was immediately one of my thoughts, too, right?
And he's gonna fucking, like, python this bitch down.
That's what I thought. My initial thought was you plan on eating this, so it has to break down because I don't think he's gonna swallow it whole. It's not gonna go well when it gets into tighter spaces. And I thought, have you ever gotten like a new debit card or credit card in the mail, and then you had to get rid of the old one? You're like, oh, I'm just gonna snap it in half, and you bend it, and that sucker is resilient. It fucking doesn't break.
Right.
I have always had to get a pair of scissors or a knife and cut it in the middle to get it, destroyed, so no one else could get the information. But like, yeah, this man plans on just fucking full on eating it. So
I mean, if you look at his face, he looks like douchey enough that like he could have been on one of like those Animorph books back in the day.
Oh my god! Yeah,
like where
he
he turns in, he like you can just see it, like his jaw opens and he turns into like an actual like python with like just these like stacks of debit cards in his mouth or something.
He 100% looks like in his younger years he was a teen model for an Animorph cover. Some other things that I've noted about his appearance, I think. God, here we go with being racist. I think he looks like he works at Home Depot, and at least 3 times a week he has to deal with a middle-aged woman approaching him and going, "Are you one of them Mexicans that I can take home to install my cabinets?"
Oh God.
I assume this is his mugshot in this picture. His mugshot doesn't do him any justice either. It looks like he ate the stolen card already and is in the middle of trying to pass the shards while feeling the blood trickle into his pants.
Yes. Like like narrating it, it's like decisions were made for better or for worse, but definitely
He's like,
for the worse.
He's like, "No, officers, I don't." Oh God, it's going. We'll put a picture of this up on Facebook and Instagram. Like I said, you can find all of our social platforms in the episode notes, or by searching us out. We'll give you those handles and all that at the end of the episode. But we'll put his picture up so you can see what he looks like, and you can let me know what your interpretation of how he appears to look is. So anyway, we'll get into the story. It starts out saying a Florida man was caught using the stolen credit card of a dead man and then was seen trying to eat the card to destroy evidence before he was questioned by deputies, according to an arrest report. As you stated, it is quite difficult to break a card of any kind. So, although I do find it interesting, debit cards and credit cards you cannot break intentionally. Somehow, though, inside of my wallet, they find their way to break or chip or wear off. It's like the wallet has some kind of almighty void power that can destroy cards, but they're securely in the wallet sleeve where nothing should get to them. The point of that sleeve is to keep them intact, but somehow they crack in there.
I have never, in the existence of owning a debit or credit card, had a credit card or have a card make it the length, like to the expiration date.
Absolutely.
Never.
I have either had my debit card information stolen and had to dispute things. I've lost them. I have broken the cards to the point where they can't be read, or it's been like, oh, we're using the new chips now, so you have to upgrade from your swipe card to a chip card. So like, there's never been a time that I've made it to the expiration date ever once.
No, my newest one is my fucking driver's license. Started to tear like up on the where the scan bar is. And the thing is, the fucking wallet I have the wallet that goes in my front pocket. So it's not like I'm sitting on it, and it's not under any amount of stress, and somehow it fucking magically is broken. And it's like 2 years old.
Right. 2 years is like its deathbed, and it's just like, replace me.
So this brings me to the next thing. Like, does this dude have like super munching powers? Like, does he have like steel fucking teeth, or like has he already like taken a good amount of cocaine and he's just like fucking just roaring right now? Like, he's just gonna fucking Hulk this card up? Or
it's entirely possible. I mean, it does say that he had cocaine on him, so we'll get to that in a second. So the article goes on to say that Orange County deputies said they were called to Disney Springs Monday for the report of a man trying to purchase jewelry and gift cards with a fraudulent debit card. When they arrived, deputies said that they saw Jose Herrera, 27, detained by Disney security, making strange movements with his hand inside of his pocket. Upon investigation, deputies said they found a baggie of white powdery substance in Herrera's pocket. I think I would have before confessing to having cocaine that I was messing with, I would have been like, "Oh no, I'm getting real hot by all this. I'm just jerking." You don't understand what you're doing to me.
I don't know. I think you're crossing a line of other charges there, probably.
I don't. Is there like I guess maybe public indecency or criminal mischief, but it's got to hold less weight than a cocaine charge.
For sure. It's like that one video. Guy's getting arrested and the police officer's patting him down. He's like, "What's this? Tell me what it is." And he's like, "Officer, that's my dick." He's like, "No, really, what is it?" He's like, "That's my dick." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, sir."
Right. No. I think another thing that makes this funny was, in addition to being arrested and taken into custody, he wasn't arrested by police initially. He was detained by security at Disney. So it's like it sounds a whole lot more menacing when you think about it, because when you think of police, it's obviously they're going to arrest you, they're going to put you in jail. But Disney security sounds like a mafia of its own accord. Like they don't answer to anybody. And if you really think about it, it kind of sounds like they catch you doing something. They haul you to some windowless room to hold you, and then you mock them because it's like, "Oh, you're not real law enforcement. What are you going to fucking do to me?" And then you watch slowly as a parade of Disney characters walk in, the characters that you grew up watching and have come to love, and they're not there to entertain you or make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. They're definitely there to yuck you up. And the entire time you're gonna watch the Mickey overlord standing in the back of the gang beating ritual, and every time you hear a "oh," you're gonna feel a chill down your spine for the rest of your life, because that is the magic of Disney.
Oh my god! And I imagine in this scenario, "It's a Small World" is playing in the background.
Absolutely, it has to be. It's a Small World. I don't know another Disney song that is more demented sounding. Like, obviously it's not a demented song, but I mean it's very innocent, just like, hey, the so many people here from different places and all that, but it's just like it sounds demented when you play it in a dark room,
especially with all the actors and performers just like glaring at you in costume. None of them are blinking, not making a single sound. And then
oh yeah, you can't have the actors who throw on clothes like Aladdin and Jasmine. All them. You don't get like the people. You get the animals. They have the deadpan stare. They're just looking into your soul.
Oh God.
So Herrera, when questioned about the contents of the baggie, was very upfront with deputies. He said, "I'm not going to lie, it's cocaine." Other law enforcement who witnessed the incident told deputies that they saw Herrera try to eat the fraudulent card in an attempt to destroy the evidence before he could be questioned. Again, that's not going to go down well. That's roughage. That's not going to make a good afternoon. Herrera was able to purchase a soft drink, $400 worth of Disney gift cards, and attempted to buy $360 worth of jewelry on stolen debit card. The investigators said, when you break it down, though, what's he going to do with 2 necklaces?
Right. At least he's not thirsty. I mean, he got a soft drink in.
Disney prices are obnoxious, and I can imagine for $360 worth of jewelry, they're just like, well, we can't say he bought 2 necklaces. That doesn't sound criminal mischief enough. He pays $360, and anyone else who's gone bankrupt taking their family to Disney's like, that's 2 necklaces. I couldn't afford that. Well, in any case, Herrera was found to be in possession of 13 other fraudulent credit and debit cards, but investigators said the card in question was stolen from a deceased Ohio man. Yeah, Ohio represent.
That's right.
Dead man walking. I don't fucking know. Herrera is charged with a fraud of a person who is deceased, the possession of cocaine, possession of a stolen credit card, and making false statements to law enforcement while under oath. I didn't hear anything false. It sounded like he was very honest. He told him it was cocaine.
Right. What? Yeah, I didn't see. Well, I mean, they could have omitted what he lied about, but what was the false statements? Eating the card, like it's not here.
Maybe his mouth is bleeding. He's like, no, I don't have a card in my mouth.
I swear.
Why didn't he stick it in his asshole? That's where you smuggle everything else, and clearly officers aren't searching for it because you smuggle shit into the jail with your asshole. Like, and it's even the perfect, shape for it, the shape and size of a credit card reader.
I'm just already, trying to like the act of emergency, like hastily shoving a credit card up your asshole. Like, how does that work?
You just go straight in. You're like, oh, that was too much force. And then as you're talking to the police officers, you feel your asshole slowly claiming the card for itself. And you're just panicking in your mind, going, oh, I'm not going to be able to use that one again. I wonder if it would work though if he held his ass cheek up to the tap to pay at the register.
Sir, why are you twerking at our clerk?
I feel like I have to. He's just gonna get up there and go. He's trying to get the payment.
Bounce, baby, bounce, baby.
I had to put something on for the people that choose to watch us instead of listen to us. For those of you who are not listening, you got to see my very white boy butt twerk. Not well, but well enough to demonstrate what it would look like if he was trying to twerk at the tap to pay feature on a cashier's register.
Wasn't planning on going there today, but here we are.
Yeah, I didn't have twerking in my plans today. Amongst the mental breakdown and everything else that I had, twerking was not on the list. So.
No, I mean, it's probably the most normal thing that probably happened today.
And this is why I can't promote this show to people I work with, because I have to see them every day. But I think that's all we've got for Mr. Herrera. If you have anything else.
Nope, just happy birthday, Tiki, and glad you joined us, and hope we fucked up your day a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Also, before we go, I just think it's right in the name. Your asshole it's called a prison wallet. Like, it's right there. It seems like a natural place to hide a credit card. I just feel like he wasn't thinking, and I get it. You don't think best under pressure like that. I've said some dumb shit under pressure, so yeah. I don't shove credit cards up my ass or try to eat them to destroy evidence, but that's another matter entirely.
Nope, not at all. Never even considered it until now.
Yeah.
But
I just delete my search history in a frenzy, and then when my wife's like, "What happened to that site that I was looking at yesterday?" Like, I don't know. I must have got rid of it. It's weird that I don't use my browser at all. There's not a website to be found anywhere. I feel like I have to disclaim, Karen, as a joke, this conversation never happened, and you don't need to report it to my wife.
Please and thank you.
Maybe we shouldn't have hired my sister-in-law to keep secrets from my wife.
She already knows. She hasn't even listened yet, and she already knows.
She knows too much, and now I feel like we have to give her like the mafia threat. So if you can like behead a horse, I'll take it to Florida with me to leave it in her bed so that she gets the message.
I mean, I live out in the middle of Amish country, so there's plenty of them.
All right. This for sure won't be held against us in court if a horse ends up decapitated.
Well, I mean, I'll just take one of my kids' horses. Sorry, kiddo. I just gotta borrow Shadow for a minute. Dad, what are you doing? Don't worry about it. He'll be less stubborn this way.
He's less stubborn without a head. That's true of anyone. Oh, God damn
My daughter would kill me if she heard that. Good thing she's not listening.
Oh, fucking hell. All right, let's get out of here on Tiki's story. We're going to march forward into Nick's story. Nick is actually the person who introduced me to Tiffany, with the people who put me with Tiffany for the wedding. So Nick is a very long time friend of mine. We've known each other since junior year of high school, and he's a good guy. He has an interesting story. I don't know if this one feels like it's naturally meant for him, but I guess we'll find out.
I was to say, is this the same Nick I'm thinking about?
I was gonna say, how do you?
You used to work.
I
was gonna say, you guys used to work at Walmart together, didn't you? At one point in time, or I used to see you guys at Walmart together all the time.
We would go to Walmart. He never worked there though. He worked at GameStop near Walmart.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick. I can't think of your last name right now. But hi, Nick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if he wants his last name because I know that he goes by a I want to call it a pen name, but I don't know what else to call it. But he goes by a different name on Discord. So we asked him what name he wanted for the shout out, and he said Nick was fine. So I was like, okay, cool, we'll do Nick.
Right.
But I guess I did tag everybody in the Facebook post that we were doing this birthday episode. So I guess I've already kind of given everyone's identity away. First, I give my own identity away as Whipped Cream Nipple Batman, and then I've revealed everyone else close to me. I'm really doing really bad at this vigilante bullshit.
You are.
Oh my god! All right, Nick. Well, we have a story about a town who's being held under terror by a menace. Since you said you have a story related to this particular story, I'll let you present it if you'd like to.
Yeah, sure. This is comes to us from Sarasota. An aggressive squirrel has continuously terrorized a neighborhood, causing residents to act in extreme abundance of caution. The offending rodent has gone after 4 people, using its claws and teeth to injure his victims. Security cameras caught Saturday's sneak attack on a man who recognized the squirrel. A neighbor in the area nursed the squirrel to health as a baby. He's named 8-Up after a race of car and truck. Residents are on high alert as 8-Up is likely plotting his next attack. So it would have been like 4 years ago. I was mowing out at one of our parks, and it was in the springtime. So a lot of squirrels are coming, becoming more active. They're coming down to the ground. A lot of them are not doing so hot through the winter, and the squirrel, it looked like he had mange. He was just lumbering along, and I'm like, all right, I'll run over this poor guy. I'm going to put him out of his misery. He looks like he either has mange or rabies or something. And like I said, it was in spring, and the ground was pretty mushy at this particular park. So I run over him with the tire of the tractor. I know it sounds harsh, but it's like the most humane thing I could think of to do to put this squirrel out of his fucking misery. And as I back up, the squirrel pops up completely fucking unharmed on his back legs, running at me bipedal. And I freaked out. I'm going in reverse as fast as I can, and this tractor goes like 13 miles an hour, and this fucking rabid squirrel is gaining ground on me. So, out of pure panic, I engaged the PTO so the blade starts spinning, and I went from full reverse to full forward. And right as I went to forward, the squirrel jumped to actually attack me. And when you do that on a zero turn, you do a wheelie. So that squirrel jumped straight into the fucking bottom side of the mower deck and went everywhere.
Oh my! When you said you had a squirrel story, there was no chance that it went anywhere near that way in my mind. I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, so to this day, every time I see a squirrel on the ground where I'm mowing, I'm just giving it wide berths. I'm like, please don't attack me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I can totally go ahead.
You're like, I'm gonna put this little fella out of his misery. He's clearly suffering. He's enraged for no reason.
Yeah, no, I straight up ran over him with the front and back tire of this big ass commercial size zero turn, and it didn't even faze him. He just sunk into the ground, into the mud, and then popped the fuck back up. He was fucking half orc or something, and he came up with his 1 hit point.
And I can imagine too the poor mental suffering you encountered doing it too. You're just like, oh, I'm so sorry, little guy. Oh God, it's over. At least he won't be hurting anymore. Oh God, he's getting back up. I have to go back and do it again. And then you go in reverse. And then he gets up on 2 feet, and he's just like, not today, motherfucker. He's just chasing you down.
This is for all the dead squirrels on the road.
Lucifer sends his regards. He wants me to skull fuck your face.
I'll find your family too.
As a squirrel, I have no idea how to locate other people, but I will find them and fuck them.
Yeah, so reading this story just brought up the trauma of that day, and I'm it's core on memory unlocked, motherfucker.
You tried to do the right thing, and what ended up happening that you ended up splattering him all over the place? What was this, a park yard or something? Or was it your house?
No, it was at work. It was at a park. I was on the clock. Yeah, I was in one of the public parks. Luckily, no one was around.
You just left this sprayed about squirrel laying in the yard that you were mowing. Just for some kid, some little 2-year-old to go wander over and pick its head up off the ground. God damn it, Justin.
Back to why do you need content when you have my life?
Oh my god. Oh.
Happy birthday, Nick!
I need you to go back and see if there was any local paper reports about squirrel body parts being flung around.
I'm sure not. Yeah, so I can totally see this fucking squirrel just going like AWOL. I got another one. Go ahead.
This is one of my other sister-in-laws, Karen's sister. I say Karen's, not Kristen's, because they're sisters by choice, not by blood. But Karen's other sister, one of the three of them, Kristen, also named Kristen. It's super convenient for get-togethers and stuff. She is terrified of squirrels, absolutely terrified. So my wife, Kristen, will send her like TikToks occasionally that have to do with squirrels being real like chaotic and rapid moving and shit. There was the only encounter I've ever had with a squirrel, like an up close squirrel, was we went to the Akron Zoo one year. I think it was like last year or the year before. And there was a squirrel that came over to us because Trace's snow cone was dripping. And he was just lapping it up off the ground. It was the most adorable thing. I didn't have to behead the fucker like you did. So it's not by any means a traumatizing experience. So just like all this little wild animal came up to us to enjoy some cold beverages on a hot day. And now you see squirrels and you're like, I'm going to fucking kill you all.
God, yes.
You said you have another story for squirrels?
It wasn't exactly squirrels. It was a chipmunk. When I was a kid, I had this box trap, this live trap, and I would catch chipmunks. And one time I decided I was going to make the chipmunk my pet. So I put him in this little wooden box and gave him some dog food and some water and a blanket and put an old window screen over top of it so I could look at him. And it was like an hour and a half later. I was like, I gotta pet this chipmunk. I gotta pet chipmunk. He's like, I want to hold it. It's fluffy. It's cute. and it was like of course the thing was terrified. I felt bad in retrospect. He was terrified, shivering in the corner, not knowing what to do because he's in a fucking wooden box, when he should be out frolicking with his family. So I move the screen just enough to get my hand in there, and I go to pick him up, and the little thing fucking ninjas off the side of the box, doesn't run up my hand. It just springs up in the air, kicks off the side of the box and runs up my arm. Luckily he didn't bite me, up over my shoulder, and just got the fuck out of there. Yeah. So maybe the squirrel is like vengeance, for capturing this little chipmunk when I was a kid.
He is the spirit vengeance.
For sure. Sure.
So initially when I first read this article, I thought, I don't know a lot about Florida's wildlife ecosystems kind of thing. So I was like, are squirrels that abundant in Florida? I feel like there's this mystical land where other land animals in the Midwest don't exist for some reason. And so I was like, squirrels can't be that populated there, can they? Aren't they more of a Midwestern kind of thing? But I feel like squirrels are probably everywhere, which makes me sound stupid as hell for thinking they shouldn't be in Florida. I just assumed that they were around a bunch of water and cocaine, that they probably wouldn't be there.
You think Florida, I guess you think
alligators
and pythons and iguanas and just odd pets that got released into the wild.
Yeah, I just squirrels are oh, it's very Midwestern to see squirrels everywhere during the summer and fall. But it's they can't possibly be in Florida for some reason.
Are you gatekeeping the squirrels?
I am. Well, what's worse is I thought that regardless of how many squirrels there are in Florida, people in this town are afraid of this one. Excuse me, I have a burps now. are afraid of this one particular squirrel, as it has a reputation for going around and attacking people. And then I thought, well, how do they know it's the same squirrel? Because I look at a bunch of squirrels and I thought, if I had to pick one out of a lineup, there's no way I could differentiate them. And now I'm racist about squirrels.
I guess not all squirrels look alike. That's for sure.
I mean, I know that they have, you know, different fur patterns and different colors and stuff, but when you're here in Ohio, a lot of them are just brown squirrels. And if I looked at one for terrorizing me one day and I saw another one that looked remotely the same, I'd be like, that's probably that little fucker there. And I'm now profiling racially squirrels.
Hey, it's a thing. It happens.
I guess as long as I don't have a gun and I'm not trying to put them down, because that screams more Ohio than anything else.
Mm-hmm. I had a classmate in elementary school who made up fake tags, like you might buy a deer tag or, you know, tags for waterfowl for hunting. He printed off tags to hunt chipmunks, and then he sold them to our classmates for like $7 a piece.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Dundee, y'all.
I like to, getting back to the article, not our own personal experience of racially profiling and murdering squirrels in horrific ways. I like that they had to clarify that the squirrel was attacking with his teeth and claws. Like, what else is it going to attack with? It didn't have a pistol. It wasn't holding people up. It didn't have a fucking pine cone battering ram, as I so lovingly talked about in the ad that we used to run on this for Anchor. Like, what else was it going to use?
Go
ahead.
Oh, no. Like, is it going to, like, fan you with its tail to death?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, what's the alternative? It's sticking
AW's tail whip.
Oh. Is it, like, sexually harassing people and poking them in the taint?
He must have been employed where I work.
Just you see the squirrel coming and everyone goes to hold their nutsack. They're like, you gotta be careful, that one. He really likes the nuts. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We have to move on.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Happy birthday, Nick.
So our next story Ty didn't submit it. She didn't. I was gonna say she didn't ask for it, but she did literally submit her birthday, so she did ask for this. Ty, people who have listened to the show before have heard her. She had her own guest episode in which she came on and talked about dating weirdos, and also men not really caring that you're in a relationship or married and still trying to slide into your DMs. She also showed up on a regular episode, and we'll have to get her back on here soon because she's a lot of fun to do these with. I think you've listened to all of the episodes, so you probably heard that one as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah. We'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, so we'll have to get that set up. It seems like Tuesdays are the only available days anymore, so clear your schedule to fit our lifestyles and go fuck yourself. All right, so Taya, your Florida man. The headline is Florida man hit mother, stuffed dumplings in her mouth for refusing to dress his mannequin.
Like, if you look at the picture of this dude, he definitely assaults his mother over not dressing his mannequin.
He definitely has a mannequin girlfriend.
He does.
So let's so we'll start with his look since they provided us a picture. When I looked at this guy, I thought something seems off about him, so I thought about it for a moment, and I said he looks like one of those weird social studies teachers that tries to convince his students that we're all meant to be living in naked communes together.
You're not wrong.
He's the teacher that goes, the government doesn't want me talking about this to you, but we are all meant to be naked and embracing nature of each other.
Oh, God.
It's the parent that you have to go home and talk to, or the parent. I hope he's not. Oh, he's definitely not. He's fucking a mannequin.
And he looks annoyed that, like, he didn't get to eat the dumplings that he tried to shove down his mom's mouth. Like, he's just like, he's like, she didn't dress my mannequin and I'm fucking hungry. What a worthless mom.
She didn't dress the mannequin and she ate the dumplings. I mean, yeah, I forced them down her throat, but she didn't have to eat them. I think he also looks like every Republican congressman that rails against Democrats for being pedophiles and grooming children, but then they get caught outside of a school masturbating in their car.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Oh, my God. All right, let's get into the story. So it goes on to say that a Florida man is accused of attacking his mother after she refused to dress his mannequin Monday night. Mikhail Dackner, it's an interesting name. I don't know if he's Russian or just has a unique name. But regardless, he is 40 years old and was arrested on charges of aggravated battery on a victim over 65 years old and domestic battery by strangulation. I like that they didn't address her age. They're just like, she's somewhere over 65. The old bitch is going to kick it any day soon.
For sure. And on top of it, he strangled. I just imagine he's like got her by the throat and like, why did you dress Samantha?
Right. So, I mean, this isn't like... It's not funny that he strangled her. I think we shouldn't have to clarify that we're making fun of the violence in this. It's obviously horrible what he did. The man himself is probably problematic in a lot of ways, but let's go ahead and get into it. So a woman reportedly called police after Dackner's 65-year-old mother ran to her house with blood on her face and Dackner in pursuit. According to an affidavit obtained by WPLG, Dackner and his mother were in their backyard when he asked her to dress his mannequin. After she refused to do so, Dackner reportedly stood in the doorway to prevent his mother from going inside the home. So they're out like in the backyard, and I assume the mannequin is also out there, like they're having a nice barbecue together, which seems really off-putting. Like this poor woman, she's 65 years old. She's got her 40-year-old son still living at home. He brings a mannequin home, probably to tell her that they're dating now. And now they're out having this nice evening together when the mannequin's just standing there in the corner staring at you.
Not only that, but like he didn't bother to dress the mannequin prior to introducing to her mother. Like, Mom, this is Samantha. Don't judge her life choices. She goes around nude everywhere.
I really do have to wonder if she was naked by his choice. Like, how long has this mannequin been around? Did he just bring the mannequin home? And he was like, Ma, I got someone for you to meet. I brought home a woman. And she's like, oh, thank God, finally, after all these years, he's going to fucking lose his virginity card. That fucking loser. And then he walks in the door and he's like, all right, Ma, she's a special woman. She's the one for me. I just want to bring her out so you can meet her. And her mom's just like, oh, finally. And then he brings out this mannequin. And she's just like, how much more worse can it get?
And did he have like an outfit, a selection of outfits? I want to know what Samantha would have been wearing had his mom decided to dress her.
Right, like, is this woman, I call her mannequin, was she just brought in, or has she been around for a while? Why was she naked? Maybe they just got done pleasuring each other, and by that I mean he was a weirdo and jerked off inside the mannequin hole.
Also, we're assuming that it's a female mannequin. It never mentions anywhere that this was like a like male representing mannequin or a female representing mannequin. Like, we're just automatically assuming that this thing had tits on it.
That's very true. The one thing you can assume about a mannequin, probably successfully, is it does have that grip that will get that drip.
Is this a personal? Are we sharing personal stories again, or?
Oh no! I'm being paid by a mannequin company. I just wanted to make sure we squeezed in their slogan.
Okay. He was squeezing into something that day for sure.
Hell yeah, he can. Oh, fucking hell! I'm on the wrong thing entirely. I went to another page, and now I'm not even on the right one anymore.
Maybe, and this is taking a dark turn even for this story. Maybe they didn't specify what the mannequin was because it was a child mannequin.
Oh, man, that would be so much worse. I feel like if it was a child mannequin, that poor woman should have reported her son. Like, it can't be. It can't be. Like, we're just going to say it for sure wasn't a child mannequin.
Like, I don't want it to be a child mannequin, but I'm just sitting here running through all the possibilities of what it could have been.
But you know what? Maybe it was a child mannequin. We're the ones insinuating he's fucking this thing. Like, there's nowhere in the article that says it was his lover or anything. It just said that he asked his mother to dress the mannequin. She refused until he got violent. We're the one putting on him that he's fucking it.
Maybe in an alternate reality, maybe he lost a child, and in his warped sense, like, this is his child, and he just wants his mom to spend some time with her grandchild, and she's refusing to, and he doesn't understand why.
I refuse to humanize this man. He's clearly fucking this mannequin.
Anyway, that's not all. There's more.
There is indeed. Fucking hell. So deputies said that Dankner, did his name change? I thought it was Dackner.
No, you've just been saying Dackner. It's Dankner.
Oh, god damn it. It's Dankner. That's dank as shit. Dankner's, I can't even do this article anymore. Deputy said Dankner's mother pushed his mannequin to the ground and ran inside. He then retaliated by following her into the kitchen, pushing her to the floor, according to the affidavit. Dankner then picked up a small stool and struck his mother several times in the head with it, deputies said. And according to the affidavit, Dankner then grabbed small dumplings made for dinner and started to shove them into her mouth. It sounds horrible to laugh at, but it's such a bizarre scene. I can't imagine. Luckily, despite his violent attack on her, she did survive and was taken to the hospital where she received stitches. So this didn't result in a real sad story, and we're just assholes for just going there. But I can only assume, though, having read this, that his mother has asked him several times, like, when are you going to give me grandkids? It's been a long time since I've even seen you with a woman. And he yells back something ludicrous like, you know, Danica and I are trying, Mom. You hear me giving it to her every night. It's just, you hear the sound of plastic being spanked.
There's a hole cut. There's a hole cut in it with like some sort of masturbator sleeve inside it.
Yeah, absolutely, just the mom settling down for a nice read in the evening. She's just hearing from the other room, "Oh, Danica."
So like, okay, like, so so obviously this guy has issues if he's like shoving his mother down to the floor and then like hitting her on top of the head with a stool. But like, what part of his brain was like, yeah, I got a fistful of dumplings. Let me shove them down her throat while I'm at it.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Shut up, Mom! I don't hear your excuses. Why wouldn't you trust Samantha?
I like that we've given her two different names, like it even remotely matters. This is, you know what this is? This is the dark alternative to Umbrella Academy's story, where Five gets really mentally twisted and starts living with. Well, I guess if his mom survived the birth, then he would have lived with her, and this would have been the result of that story. Yeah. Now, I don't try to kink shame anybody here. You know, you're into what you're into, so long as it's consensual and not hurting anybody, unless that's what you're into. You know, good for you. But when the kink is fucking a mannequin, someone has to shame this man. Like, this can't be allowed to keep happening.
I feel like the fucking of the mannequin came from you, so should we shame you?
Yes, you probably ought to. I mean, from the things that we've said now over these 3 episodes, I should probably be publicly shamed for what I've said.
Oh, yeah. I'm right there with you, buddy.
Now, on the bright side, if what he is in fact doing is having relations with this plastic person, we have to be grateful that it's with a mannequin and not a corpse, because, you know, unlike victims, neither one of them will run away from you when you try to assault them. So at least there's a bright side to this dark, stormy sea.
Yeah. Add necrophilia to the topics we covered.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, in addition to the other things that I've said, this is going to secure my spot in hell. So I will save all of you a seat for listening.
Thank you for joining us on Tour Bus.
And having said all of this now, I'm so sorry to the next dummy that we have a story for. This woman God bless her for listening. Angel was an HR woman for a previous job that I did. So maybe we need to make her HR responsible for the things that we are saying and doing.
Oh. I feel like we get canceled real quick.
Yeah, Angel and I have we've never had like a very chatty, friendly. We've been friendly. Like it wasn't like a HR. I only talked to her when I'm in trouble. Like we've just kind of been professional about our relationship. We've never really talked a whole lot. So I don't know a lot about her or what humor she's into. I'm hoping this is it because she's endured a long list of problematic things that we've said in order to get to her birthday shout out. So I hope it was worth it. All right, Angel, let's go ahead and hop into your story, and I hope this has been worth it to you. Oh God. All right, so this one, the man. So I'm struggling between whether we want to get into the story first or I want to start talking about this man's looks first. I will say that the headline is that cops say man threatened to stab dinner host during dispute over Easter ham consumption. And when you look at the mugshot of the man, I think he kind of looks like an Easter ham himself.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
They have a picture of the ham there on the right side of the article, and diagonally down to it is a picture of his mugshot. And I can't honestly tell them apart, except the ham might have more hair than he does.
Well, it's like I imagine it's like one of those cartoons where they're hallucinating because they're hungry and they can't distinguish between the ham and him. So they just like start cutting pieces off of him. Which, if that were the case, would maybe justify the story.
Maybe. So let's go ahead and get into it and find out what exactly this debacle was. So, a Florida man was arrested Saturday night for allegedly threatening to stab his dinner host with a steak knife after being asked to stop eating the Easter ham as it sat atop the stovetop.
So right there, like, not only was he invited over to somebody's house for like Easter, but he had the gall to go up to the stove and start picking, I'm assuming with his fingers, like ham off of the hunk of meat right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't specifically say when you read it. I don't think it says that he was tearing it apart. He was cutting it apart. He was threatening the guy with a knife. So I'm assuming that he had the knife at least readily available.
Maybe it was already like cut up on the plate and the knife was like sitting next to it, ready to be served. And he's just like nomming on it, like, ugh.
Maybe. So like I can see both sides of this. Like as someone who has young children who like to pick at things on the stove before you've plated it to serve to them, it gets really annoying. You start smacking hands when they start reaching for food. Or more annoyingly, they tell you they're so excited to eat it, and then you present it to them. They're like, "I don't want it. I don't like it." Like, you motherfucker, you've eaten it 5 times in the past month. Like, you fucking gonna eat it now. But on the other hand of it is whenever I've gone to somebody's house for Thanksgiving, for Easter, for Christmas, all the big holidays where there's just, you walk into the house and you're hit with a wall of scent of food, and you're just like, man, I did not realize how hungry I was until I walked in here. And then you want to go pick at food, and I'm notorious. Both Kristen's actual mom and Kristen's chosen mom make deviled eggs and other foods that I like to nitpick. And when deviled eggs are made, I will go to any length, including getting Trace involved, to steal some prior to the food being ready to eat. I will send him on a mission because he also enjoys hard-boiled eggs. So I will send him on a mission to go retrieve deviled eggs, and he will go do his best to stealth. But he's bad at stealth. He just kind of announces that he's there for no particular reason. It's like, you can't announce that you're there because it defeats the purpose of being there without anyone noticing. You can't walk in and go, "Don't look at me, I'm not doing anything wrong." He's also really bad at secrets too. I will tell him something, I'd be like, "But we can't tell Mom, okay? Like, I'll get you this pack of Pokemon cards, but you can't tell Mom about it because she's gonna be mad we spent money on Pokemon cards." And he'll be like, "Yeah, I know, it's fine. I won't tell her." And then we'll get home and he'll be like, "Mom, I got a secret, but I can't tell you about it." It's like, you piece of shit.
I think you need to take his weakness and turn to his strength. Like, he can announce that he's in the room and he's not doing anything, but then just sit quietly in the corner like immediately afterwards. So first it's suspicious, and then they just don't notice him, and then he can just like walk up and get the deviled eggs.
Yeah, maybe I could run distraction to help, or I could play the complete surprise parent card, and when he gets caught, be like, Trace, I fucking told you can't have any till dinner. Why would you bother going and go after them? And then I win either way. I either get my eggs or I shift all blame to him.
Absolutely.
In any case, though, according to cops, George Peak, who is 48, was at the Palmetto home of Daniel Crean. Yeah, I said that right. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Crean, who was preparing dinner for several guests. Crean, who's 49, told officers that there was a ham on the stove and that Peak began eating the ham. After Crean asked Peak to cease the pre-dinner raid, Peak allegedly approached Crean with the steak knife in hand and said he was going to stab him, which seems a bit dramatic for being asked to stop eating the food that you yourself weren't making or purchased. Crean, who was not injured, later told police that he became in fear for his life and thought he was going to be stabbed. Peak seen in an adjacent mugshot. It's fun to say it's the adjacent mugshot because that ham picture is also adjacent to the text. I think someone did this on purpose.
Maybe this is like before and after.
Maybe. That ham is what he looks like to the other prisoners once he got in. Oh, man. Where the fuck are we at? Peak, seen in the adjacent mugshot, was busted for felony aggravated assault. A second count battery on law enforcement officer was subsequently added when Peak allegedly tussled with a cop and spit in the officer's face. Peak is being held
Christ!
in the Manatee County Jail in lieu of a $15,000 bail on each felony charge. This is so much escalation over fucking ham. Like, if he just waited probably another 10 minutes, they would have cut it up and served it to everyone. And he's just like, I don't fucking wait for nothing. I'm going to cutting into it now. And then he gets told to stop, and he's like, I'm going to fucking stab you, motherfucker. And then police show up because this dude's dangerous now, and I imagine he's gnawing on the ham. He's just grabbed the whole thing, bone in, and it's just right. Police show up to take care of the problem, and then he fights with the cop in a wrestling match, and then spits in his
You don't
face.
know me! You don't know me! This is my ham!
The good news is that he probably also got to enjoy a nice ham dinner if it was a holiday when he got into the prison. So he got to have two hams that day.
I was going to say he probably got pork or porked, both. So either way, he was enjoying his ham products.
He's for sure getting porked. That man is soft and jiggly, and that's how they like it there.
Yeah, for as aggressive as he is around everyone else, he's definitely the prison bitch.
And we're back to Prison Wallet. It always comes back around. I don't really have anything else. It was a rather short story. I would apologize that maybe you didn't get as much story time as the other people, Angel. But honestly, you may have made out that it was shorter and didn't have to listen to the things that we've said for longer periods.
Yeah, I don't know if it was any better. I don't know if it was any better, though.
Yeah,
Shorter.
Yeah, it was shorter. So you take that as the victory that you may claim it to be. Do you have anything else on this article?
I do not. I think we've said it all.
I think we've said too much, buddy. I think we've said too much.
So
All right.
happy birthday.
Oh yes, happy birthday, Angel. Oh my God, I don't even know what your fucking name is, Angel. I was looking at your birthday, which is April 1st, which is an unfortunate birthday because I mean, imagine your parents announced that you were born, and then nobody believed them, and they became the shunned couple of the town because they wouldn't let go of this joke that they thought was funny.
So we're ready to dive into the worst of humanity.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, we had almost entirely all newsworthy Neanderthals, but we do, as usual, always reserve a worst of humanity. So if you're ready to deprave yourself further, let's go ahead and dive into it.
Oh my God, who thinks of this shit? Hey, quick, come here, take a look at this.
Why would you show me that?
I don't want to suffer alone.
This is the worst of humanity.
All right, so our word for today is a Tennessee abortion, which, again, is going to be a rough one for people who are uncomfortable with this topic, but maybe it's not what we thought it would. Things are often deceiving, especially in titles alone. So, like how King Charles isn't real royalty.
Right. Well, see, like Tennessee, like I'm thinking, like Tennessee is like one of the states where abortion is illegal now, or it could be. I'm assuming so because like I just think Tennessee, I think like hick conservative. So like, if abortion's illegal there, like it's like a back alley abortion where like your dad kicks you down the stairs or something like that. But maybe it has nothing to do with an abortion at all. That's like just first thoughts.
Is it like a late term abortion where your kid is already born and like 10 years old and they keep mouthing off to you, so you kick them down the stairs and hope that they will abort their life?
For sure.
I don't think it's gonna be sexual this time. I think this is gonna be as you've deemed it, potty humor. I'm going to suggest that this has everything to do with eating like Taco Bell and then unloading on the toilet. I don't know what it has to do with Tennessee, but as Russ and I discovered, so often the case, the name is deceptive and it doesn't actually have anything to do with it. So.
Yeah, I don't know, like, but maybe like the Tennessee part of it implies that like it's an abortion, but like it was an ancestral thing to begin with. So like it's like your father's baby, and you just want to get rid of it. So he gives you the old coat hanger.
The old coat hanger. There's so many less awful ways to do it. Maybe. I would have gone more of an Alabama or West Virginia approach when it comes to incestual pregnancy that results in needing this abortion. I don't know that Tennessee is kind of labeled in with the rest of them like that.
I don't know. Maybe that's just my skewed opinion on Tennessee. Maybe I'm wrong.
Are you a Dolly Parton fan?
Yeah, I mean, like, not really. I know she's from there.
Okay, I was going to ask if you knew what state she was from, because I knew she was Southern, obviously, from her voice. But I thought it would only be appropriate to bring her up if she was, in fact, from Tennessee. So
I think she's got like her like Dolly Parton stampedes down there or something like that. So that's why I'm guessing she's from there.
Are you currently looking it up?
Yep.
Okay, so maybe not necessarily Dolly Parton. Maybe there's someone else.
Tennessee.
Okay.
She is from Tennessee. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna say not maybe necessarily Dolly Parton in particular, but maybe a Tennessee abortion is when you are jerking it to a celebrity who is from Tennessee. So we'll use Dolly in
like
this case.
Or Miley. Miley Cyrus is from Tennessee.
Miley Cyrus, she went through an unfuckable period when she shaved her head. Not that by any means shaving your head makes you unattractive women. It's just not for me. I couldn't be involved with a woman who has shaved her head. It isn't appealing.
I don't know, but like I feel like in my experience, the crazier the human, the better the sex. So maybe through her crazy shaved head period would have been the peak sexual craziness.
I don't know. I've dated some crazies. I would say some of them had the personality of a dead fish in bed, so I wouldn't necessarily say the crazier the better. In fact, maybe they're contemplating your murder, and that's why they're giving you the old dead eyes without any movement.
Oh God.
Yeah. So anyway,
it explains my marriage so much.
The dead fish.
Yeah, the contemplating of my murder while giving me the dead fish eye. Yeah.
Well, Kristen, she contemplates my murder quite frequently. I'm sure Karen just breathed a fresh air of relief as she probably thought I was about to go into mine and Kristen's sex life in detail. So in any case, I think it's when you jerk off to completion at the thought of a famous celebrity, Miley Cyrus or Dolly Parton, because you are aborting the potential children that could have been brought into existence all over the floor.
All right. That's a definition.
Okay. So are you ready to find out what the worst of humanity is bringing us for this turn?
Yes, let's find out.
Okay. So Tennessee abortion is giving birth directly into the mouth of a bear.
Fuck.
There are no other definitions, so this is it. This is solid. I would like to point out Kristen didn't give us this one because it would be fucked up if she did. I would have gone upstairs and been like, I have to beat you now. Like, we've never had domestic violence between us, but because you gave me that word, I have to beat you now. But Tennessee abortion, giving birth directly into the mouth of a bear. Here's your sentence example for it.
Hold on, but like, is it bear as in like?
It is for sure bear.
Fur and claws, or like giving birth into a bear as like a burly, hairy gay man?
No, it is for sure the grizzly bear. Because the sentence says, if Roe v. Wade gets repealed, so long as we have grizzly bears, you can still get a Tennessee abortion.
Well, see, like, that makes sense. Like, at least I was on the line of, like, abortion's illegal and we're trying to find a workaround without getting a proper medical abortion.
Let's see Congress people shut down birthing into grizzly bears' mouths. Why is this a thing? Why? So Kristen didn't give us this one. The one that she gave us, we accidentally came across because it sounded really weird. So we looked it up, and it was in fact not very fun to do. So unbeknownst to her, we changed it up and found a random term. I don't know if I'm disappointed or happy with this one.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm let down. I mean, I'm let down a little bit, but it's definitely not as... We're talking about, like, birthing babies into, like, live bears' mouths. I was about to say it's not as gruesome as some, but, you know.
You know what the equivalent of this emotion is about this word? The equivalent emotion to this word that I can relate the best to is when you're in the middle of foreplay and then your partner says, oh, I've got a headache. I would really rather we didn't tonight, or, you know, just whatever. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I understand. I don't want to cause you any additional pain. So, like, we got somewhere, but, like, it wasn't where we wanted to be.
That was a different direction because, like, in my mind, I'm like, there's, like, yogis there with his picnic basket going, hey, boo-boo, we got quite a steal today. As they just run off with his crying fetus to eat.
I mean, Winnie the Pooh has been made into a horror movie. Who else? There's been a couple of them, hasn't there?
Winnie the Pooh for sure. I'm not sure who else is public domain right now.
I think I can't remember. Another Disney character just went public domain. They're like, "Yup, now we're gonna make a horror one based off of that." So you know, it's probably. I'm sure Winnie the Pooh's eating babies in the movie. I think it was rated really badly, so I didn't bother even looking at it.
Ah, God, what do we get ourselves into this week?
It wasn't the worst it could have been. It could have been so much worse than that. I mean, no one's shitting on people's chests and then eating it later as a smoothie or whatever. We could have come out far worse than we did.
We could have. That's for sure.
Well, if you're done with this episode, I guess we'll go ahead and talk to the people about how they can follow us so that they can get more fucked up shit outside of our episodes.
That is definitely a thing you can do.
So if you want to follow me and all the places that matter, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at UnfeelingDragon. That's all one word, 2 words exactly spelled as they sound. You can also find me on TikTok at UnfeelingDragon. I think I have a meager 6 or so videos on there as of recording this episode. I do plan to eventually make some more content, but you know, I'm enslaving myself to multiple companies at the time, so you can just enjoy the same videos over and over like I do with some of my favorite porns. Anyway, Justin, where do they find you?
They can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Spectral Vagabond. That is the_spectral_vagabond. Instagram, you'll find more personal stuff. I'll do occasionally some skits in my stories. TikTok, on the other hand, I am a noob and I need to learn. But once I do, I plan on flooding you with plenty of dumb content, just from my personal life and skits and voices, which you've got a little taste of. But there are about 1 million different people living inside my head, and they would all like a chance to speak. So eventually, you'll find them on TikTok.
One day, buddy.
One day.
And of course, you can follow the podcast as well. You can join our Facebook group by looking us up on there for memes, show content, and more. We are also on TikTok, though we don't have a lot in the way of content there, just kind of mostly the same videos that you'll find on my personal page. We do have plans to create more if we can ever work some time out to get together. Plus, we have a photo album cover to do for our podcast. So we have some planning to get together. Apparently, my daughter's birthday party is not a good time to do it. According to my wife.
It would have been a perfect time to do it.
I might still sway her because, as you had seen, we moved the date because we got to the point where we realized it was in a couple of days, essentially, like 4 days, and we don't have anything planned, bought, or anything. So it was just like we should probably push this a little bit further down the road. But we'll get out some content when we can. You can find content related to the episodes on Facebook and our group. You can also find it on Instagram, where it won't be quite as bogged down by other posts. But you can also find us at Overdue for Extinction on those platforms. And Twitter, if you want to find us, it's O4E Pod. That's O, the number 4E Pod. We mostly make announcements there about episode drops, future endeavors that we may undergo, and more. We'll see what Twitter ends up being used for. Is there anything else you want to add before we let our hostages go, bud?
Yeah, I'd actually like to give a shout out and thank you to all my close personal friends who have been supporting me over the last couple of weeks as we've been writing, and I've been delving into the world of podcasting, and I hope you enjoy the content we're making, and yeah, just thanks for your general support. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, same as well. The quickest way to grow is by word of mouth. So if you are enjoying this fucked up shit that we're doing, and you know other people who are also mentally deranged in your life who might also get a chuckle out of it, please share the show. It's the only way we're going to get anywhere and keep growing the community that we've come to love, despite their many, many flaws.
I feel like it's really awkward because, like, as horrible things are flowing out of my mouth, I have this smooth speech about it, but as soon as I go to thank somebody, I'm like, you're a wonderful person. I don't know how to say good things, wholesome content.
I don't know words. Your house mouth party. I think that's going to do it for us then on this episode. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. Please share the show with others that you love or even your mortal enemies, because we don't discriminate here. And please also leave us a review or rate the show on your podcast player of choice to help other dummies find us, because that helps a lot. And most importantly, stay safe and stay smart, dummies.
Overdue for extinction.